You'd think by now the US government would make Secret Service agent Mike Banning retire, because every time we see him, death and destruction follow. And in Angel Has Fallen, it's no different. But should you see it? So in this, Gerard Butler reprises his role as Secret Service agent Mike Banning. There's an attempt on the president's life, and Banning finds himself as the prime suspect. And now he has to prove his innocence, all the while escaping from, well, just about everybody. There is a twist and a motivation for that twist that's really obvious less than 5 minutes into the movie. And then that twist is confirmed less than an hour into it. And that's kind of a problem when the runtime of the film is 2 hours, and an hour in, or even less than an hour in, you already know why they did what they did and what's going on, and makes it tough for that last half. Now, it would be really easy for me to just trash this movie, but there are some good points to it, and I think that I need to note those because it's not all bad. Although the story is terribly predictable, I do feel that it's kind of well developed. I mean, the characters especially, that we get a well-rounded picture of each of the characters that we come in contact with. Now, it's not that we know every single motivation about them and all of their back history and just every single detail about them, but we're given things through dialogue that just helps us to build a picture of who they are. And I think it's sufficient for what the movie is. I mean, I don't need to know every detail about every single character, but those that I do see and those that are carrying that part of the story, I know kind of enough about where I'm fairly satisfied with it. Is the story perfect? No, of course not, but it is coherent. And it follows its own rules in the world that it is set up, even if it is kind of thin. I mean, it follows a linear time that everything kind of makes sense. I mean, you see, well, it starts here, the natural progression is to go here and then here and here, and it does that. Gerard Butler in this is pretty good. I mean, what I found really convincing is that he's been doing this for a while in this character of Mike Banning, and he's beginning to show his age. He is, he's wounded. He's just beaten up and bruised, and golly, how many times has he hit his head? Or even just hit his head on somebody else? I mean, the guy, he's not just a superhero, and it shows. And I liked that part. I thought that was a bit of a genuine aspect to who the character is, because you know what? If I went through that, well, first off, I don't even think I'd survive the first movie, but let alone, into the third one. But he takes the beating. He's a hardcore soldier, and he keeps going, but he has the wounds to show for it. Now, the absolute best part of Angel Has Fallen, I mean, hands down, the best part is Nick Nolte. He is like a drunk redneck Santa with a ton of weaponry. I mean, he gets all of the comedy, all of the funny lines. He is just a joy to watch on there, and he gets to do some cool things as well. I mean, he is a great character that they have brought on screen in this, and I found myself just loving him. And when he was on there, it was like, ooh, awesome. Just a side note, there's kind of it's not even a mid-credit scene. I mean, they show, I think, like two names, and then they go right into another scene, and he steals that one as well with some great comedy. As I was watching this, two films really just came to the forefront of my mind: The Fugitive and Enemy of the State. Now, honestly, if you want a better movie to watch either of those, because those are definitely more worth your time than Angel Has Fallen, even though Angel Has Fallen does have some decent qualities to it. Now, the special effects in this are pretty decent at times. I mean, there's some stuff with some drones and just even some car chases a little bit, and some explosions, and just the way that they were doing the car chases in that. Those were pretty cool, and they looked convincing. And then we had some very unspecial effects. I mean, it was bad. Like, we all looked at each other several times when these happened, because it screamed low budget film. I mean, like, they got these special effects off the internet. Like, they just downloaded it and then slapped them on there. It was that bad. And it was crazy because this is a big budget movie. This isn't like, some little indie film where they have a $10 budget. No. And it showed when they used good special effects in most of the movie. But though some of it, when it was bad, it was glaring. Now, surprisingly, we don't get a lot of Morgan Freeman in this. I mean, he's good when he's on screen, and I really enjoy seeing him. And of course, that voice. Oh my gosh, how can you not just love to listen to that voice? But he's not on screen very often. Now, for an action movie, The action is kind of inconsistent, especially in its tension. Now, I mentioned some of the car chase scenes where, some of the special effects were kind of cool. Well, sometimes we were right in the middle of the action. And it doesn't have to be just even a car chase. I mean, anything that was going on. Sometimes we were placed right in the middle of it and you could feel it. You felt part of it, that, it's going on around you, that you're actually immersed in this scene that's going on. And that was kind of fun, and it definitely amped up the excitement level. But then there's other times where we were just so far removed that it was hard to feel anything. I mean, even when, if it was a close call or somebody almost dies or whatever that happens to be, you're just kind of like, I don't feel connected to this at all because I'm so far removed as a viewer. So honestly, I think there are a lot of better options out there than Angel Has Fallen. I mean, if you're looking for just a fun action film with some just explosions and fight scenes and guns and just car chases and all that, go see Hobbs and Shaw. If you're looking for like dark or comedic, then check out Ready or Not. Then if you just want an overall great film, see The Peanut Butter Falcon. Any of these are going to be way better options to spend your cash on. Now, personally, I can't honestly say where Angel Has Fallen falls in the series. I mean, as far as quality goes. I've seen Olympus Has Fallen, I have not seen London Has Fallen, and now I've seen Angel Has Fallen. Out of the two that I've seen between Olympus and Angel, I'd go with Olympus because I felt that the action and just the close-up fighting and all of that just added a little bit more tension and drama to what was going on than in this latter installment. Now, it's not to say that this one is absolutely horrendously hot garbage, because it's not. And a lot of the performances were good. I mean, even there's so many more that I didn't talk about, like Tim Blake Nelson and Piper Perabo, I don't know how you say her last name. I mean, even Jada Pinkett Smith were all Jada Pinkett Smith. Talking is hard tonight. But that they did all a great job as well, and so they're fun to watch. But all that for me didn't make it as good as Olympus Has Fallen. And that one wasn't awesome either. Now, like I've said, the film isn't all bad. But in good conscience, I cannot recommend that you spend your hard-earned cash to go see this in the theater. Even on discount day. I'd personally wait for Redbox or Netflix. There's no sex or nudity, but there is profanity and a whole lot of violence. I give Angel Has Fallen 2.5 out of 5 couches. So which of the 3 Fallen movies is your favorite, if any at all? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.